Flamingo chef, show us what you got with cocktails and dishes that hit the sweet spot.
Hey guys, Bill the Kansas Flamingo chef. Southwest Drunken Chicken. I made this with things that were already in my pantry. This is so good. You got to give it a try. First thing I'm going to do is get a pan. It's a good sized pan. But I'm going to go ahead and start warming and let it get warm. And as it warms, then I'll add some butter to melt down to cook my chicken. For the chicken, I've got about a cup of flour here. Now to that, I just want to add a little bit of seasoning. Now this is a local product called Lane's. It's a Cubano, which it's just a kind of a smoky salt and pepper, really good stuff. Got a little Cuban flair to it. You can use just about any salt and pepper you want. This basically is salt, pepper, and garlic that's been roasted. Really nice. And we'll just give that a little mix. Okay. Now what I'm going to put on a glove on one hand so that I can take a couple of these pieces of chicken out of here and roll them in the flour. I'm going to brown them a little bit in some garlic butter. Now you don't need a lot of flour for this. I probably have a cup of flour, give or take. And these are just boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I'm just going to put a little bit of dredge on those like that. Now I'm just cooking for me, so 2, maybe 3 pieces is probably enough. I'm going to do 3. Now I'm going to take some garlic butter and start to melt that in the pan because I'm going to brown my chicken in that garlic butter. That's probably about 2.5, 3 tablespoons of the garlic butter. And what I'm using is Chef's Chamois garlic butter from Sam's Club. You don't have to use this. You can use oil. You can use regular butter. It's fine. You can make your own garlic butter. I do that too. It's just this is a fast product that's really good. It's a garlic and Parmesan butter. As your butter gets melted down a little bit, just like that, we're going to coat the bottom of the pan. And then we're just going to take the chicken and set it in here and let it brown. Now, I like to cover this while that chicken starts to brown, but you don't have to. You can leave it uncovered if you like. I'm going to cut up some onion, a bell pepper. I'm going to use a yellow one because I had it in the fridge, and some celery. Basically a Cajun trinity to build with this chicken. The chicken's starting to brown, but we're going to go ahead and let it cook. So we're going to dice up the onion, and I'm going to use about half of this white onion. Nothing fancy here. I'm just going to dice this up. So that's about half of a white onion. Now, I generally use yellow onion more than I use white onion. Quite honestly, it's just a taste preference. I mean, there's not a real big difference, but also yellow onions do tend to peel a little better too. As far as the celery, I'm going to use about 3 stalks. Wash those out real good and then chop them up. After I cut the ends off the celery, because I don't like those ends, we'll get rid of those and dice that as well. As far as the pepper, I'll probably use most of this pepper. I'm going to get the center out. And then just cut it into dice as well. About 1/3 of the pepper I left to cut into strips like that, just because it'll look nice with the dish. These are ready to turn over. Get them a little browned on the other side. Now, I'm not going to cook them very long on this side because they're pretty well cooked. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and add my vegetables to this. I give that a little mix. And we'll let those vegetables start to cook down a little bit. And they're just basically cooking in the butter and the fat that's come off the chicken. This is a bottle of Spanish red wine. Now you can use any kind of red wine you want. I just happen to like this. This is a Toro. You could use a Cabernet. You could even use a You could probably use the Beaujolais, but I wouldn't recommend it. You need a little depth. But all I'm going to do is put some wine in here. Probably about 3 or 4 ounces. And let that start to cook with the chicken as well. I know a lot of you are probably saying red wine with chicken. They don't seem to go together. But chicken thighs and red wine actually cook beautifully together. In fact, there's a French dish called coq au vin or coq au vin, depending on how, I'm not French. But that's basically the essence, is chicken thighs and red wine. So this is kind of a take on a coq au vin, but with my flair, and we're going to add a couple of things. This is better than bouillon. This one's actually called roasted chicken base. This makes an awesome chicken broth. I've made about 4 ounces of that. As I let the wine reduce a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and add that stock to my drunken chicken. It's been cooking for a few minutes. We're going to go ahead and take the top off again and just move it around. Now, from here on out, I'm going to cook it open so that this can really reduce. The steam helps to get the chicken finished and get the veggies finished, but now I want it to reduce down and make a sauce. But I'm also going to add something a little weird. I'm going to add black beans. This is just a can of black beans. This happens to be Bush's, but you can use any brand you want. Now, I'm not going to get rid of this sauce because it's actually going to help thicken the dish. So all I'm going to do is just put about 3 good scoops, 1 per chicken breast. I might even go 4. Use half the can into this, right into the pot. Now we'll just give it a little mix. Now we need a little bit of south of the border seasoning because this is going to be a Southwestern drunken chicken. So we've got the Cuban spice that went into the flour, but other than that, there's really nothing in here. So you can kind of go crazy and add whatever you like. But I'm going to start with a little cilantro. Don't need a lot. This is just dried cilantro. We'll do probably half a teaspoon. And then I've got just some taco seasoning. And honestly, it doesn't matter what brand you use. We're going to use about a teaspoon of that. And last but not least, I've got some Cholula. Or, actually, I think I'll use tahini. I was going to use Cholula, but I think I'd rather have a little bit of that lime in there. So we'll use some tahini. Not a lot, maybe half a teaspoon. That really smells good. Now we're just going to let this reduce into a sauce. And I've got some rice steaming behind me that's almost done. And I'll just serve it right on top of the rice, the finished product. Doesn't that look awesome? Now I've added a little color here with some tomatoes and sour cream. You always want to dress up your dish and give it some color because we eat with our eyes, right? Till next time, eat fabulous. I'll see you soon. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure if you have a question or a comment, you shoot me an email, bill@kansasflamingochef.com. Visit my new redone website, kansasflamingochef.com. See you soon.
In the heart of Kansas, under sky so clear, lives a chef with a flair, bringing folks some cheer. With a pinch of love and a dash of zest, he's the Kansas Flamingo, and his meals are the best.